What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Slashers and Superheroes. I'm Cameron. This is Jacob, and we have another movie review for y'all today here on the channel. It's a streaming movie, and it's something that me and Jacob have been wanting to watch because it
hmm
has our favorite girl in it. It has Millie Bobby Brown, and as you all know, those who follow the channel regularly, we are big Stranger Things fans. So it made sense for us to watch this and check it out. So um, it's called Damsel, and it came out, I believe, on Friday, and it's currently Sunday as we
Yep.
record this. So I watched it on Saturday. Jacob watched it the day it came out. Gave him a couple days, gave me a day to kind of brew and stew on it a little bit. Um, Now I didn't realize this, but the cast for this movie is pretty damn stacked. Like I didn't
hmm
realize. So you had Millie, right? And then you have Nick Robinson, who is Love Simon, right? And then Robin Wright, Janae Buttercup from Princess Bride. I didn't know she was in this. And then you have Angela Bassett. Like, good God, Angela Bassett's in this. And
hmm
then Dreykov from Black Widow. And he's Papa Bear in Puss in Boots. Ray Winstone is also in this. So it's stacked. There's a lot of people in this. Um, so when I saw that, when I was watching the movie and I saw all these people in it, I was like, oh, Netflix flexing their muscles on the casting budget here. Um, Now, did a good cast equal to a good movie? Now, I will go ahead and start off first. I
Okay.
thought that this movie was fun for what it was. Um, it is not incredible. It's not great. It's good. I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't terrible. I will say that. Um, Now, I can go ahead and start with my positives real quick. Now, I know a lot of people were talking about the CGI and kind of it taking away from the story. I didn't think the CGI was bad at all. I think it held on its own. Um, I think Millie is pretty damn good in this. She's great in everything. Honestly, she's becoming one of the better actresses out there. No bias. I'm just being honest. She
hmm
is. Um, and I think all the cast acted really well. Um, I didn't see anybody in the casting thing. I mean, Nick Robinson was kind of there. Um, he was just there. Everyone else was kind of carrying the movie, but he was fine, for what he did. And I did like some aspects. I thought the beginning of the movie was solid enough. Um, and I thought the ending of the movie was the strongest point of the film. Um, and there were some really good emotional tidbits here and there between Millie and her sister and Millie and her father, um, or Millie's character rather, um, not her actual father, right? Um, and so I thought there was some really good tidbits here and there. Now I will say in the middle, she's surviving, trying to survive in this cave, right? I do
hmm
think that it kind of the pace was kind of like you're stuck in mud a little bit. It was kind of hard to get through, but I
hmm
understood why it was like that though, because she's in this new cave. She's trying to figure out how, like these glowworms in the caves. She's trying to figure out how to use them, and how convenient that they eat flesh and heal you. How convenient is that? Um, but anyway, and I thought that was kind of slow, but I think the coolest thing, it was kind of like I don't know if it was a choice or not, like just or maybe that's just how they were supposed to do it, but the
hmm
dragging talking was actually kind of a nice touch. We don't get a lot of dragons talking, and we just get a lot of dragons hunting people, and
Yeah.
just. But there was actually a backstory to the dragon and to what, why the dragon was doing what she was doing.
hmm
Um, and it made sense for that time because dragons were feared. Dragons, they were not loved by people, and unless
They
you're in
did. They did.
Westeros.
They did not talk though.
They didn't talk.
The only other thing that I can think of dragons talking is dragon tales.
You just reached into my childhood memory bank there. I forgot that show existed for a second. it may be not it. It's not realistic, okay, but I thought it was a cool touch, and we don't see a lot of dragons talking, and it's a magical land. We have you literally have glowworms that eat flesh and heal you, so it's a whole different land and completely different. And you have made up lands and made up names and made up family names and whatever. And the voice actor for the dragon was really good.
Hmm.
Um, Now, when I was watching it, um, it was put to my attention that the voice actor was the same voice actor for the Oracle in the Sea of Monsters movie for Percy Jackson. And I was like, I somehow was not able. Like, I was like, what the? Like, I haven't seen that movie in so long, so I was not.
Yeah, same. I don't even remember.
I don't even remember that at all. But and she's also done some. I would say her name, but I would absolutely butcher it. But she did a good job, and she's done some really good, solid work as well. Um, it's I'm not even gonna try to say her name, but I believe she did some Mass Effect games. She's done a bunch of gaming voice acting. She's really good at what she does,
Hmm.
and so I thought she did a solid job. Now I do think that the story was kind of predictable because when you get to the main plot point and Millie figures what's going on and has to tell the dragon, you knew at that moment that it was going to end the way it was going to end. So
Hmm.
it's kind of predictable. Um, Now I feel like this was just a kind of a standard action movie, but that's not really necessarily a bad thing sometimes if it's done well. And I think the action was done well, but I don't think there was enough action
Hmm.
if you catch my drift, because
Yep.
I've watched the trailers, I've seen backs behind the scenes stuff, and I was expecting a full on brawl with this dragon, and we didn't get that. We just kind of got a little bit of a done, and that's
Hmm.
it. And I wanted more.
Yep.
Um, so while that kind of stuff was done well, I wish it was elevated a little bit more, and they didn't get lazy with the action.
Hmm.
Um, but other than that, I mean, it was fine for what it was, like I said, and I had a somewhat good time watching this.
Hmm.
So that's my take on the film. What about you?
Yeah, this movie was okay. Um,
Sorry,
what?
no, just the way you said it. Yeah, this film was okay.
It wasn't great, like you said.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was one of the better Netflix original movies. I'll say that.
yeah.
This
And
is like on
that,
the level, maybe not as good, maybe a little bit below it, but this is on the level of like Extraction 2 for me. It's
Extraction Two
definitely not
was
as
Extraction Two was much better than this.
yeah. That's what I was saying. I think this was
Yeah,
below that, but it
Extraction
was around
the
there.
first
Definitely,
Extraction and
definitely better
Extraction
than
Two. Yeah.
definitely better than like Red Notice.
Oh yeah,
Um,
and then Heart of Stone.
yeah, no, yeah, but this was okay. Like, um, Millie was great, which she's been great in everything we've seen her in, even the bad Godzilla movies. She's good. Um, yeah, she carried this movie. Like one of my cons is that well, one of my pros is Millie's great, but one of my cons is that outside of her, it has a pretty loaded cast, but the characters they play are very forgettable. At least for me, they were very like one note and forgettable. And she carried this movie. So yeah, she was great. Talking about the VFX, most of the time, yeah, I thought the VFX were good. There was like moments here and there where it was kind of spotty, but
You could
for the
tell it was
most
green
part,
screen on some stuff.
hmm
For sure.
hmm yeah. But for the most part, I thought the VFX were good, especially on the dragon. I thought the dragon had a really cool design.
Mhm.
Um, and then I like the premise of the movie actually. Like at one point, it had like a survival thriller horror feel to it, with her being trapped in the caves and everything. I actually like that part of the movie. But it doesn't. Though I like the premise, it doesn't really commit to it. Like this movie to me didn't feel like it knew what it wanted to be. Like at times it had like a survival thriller feel. At times it had a fantasy, and at times action. I don't know. It kind of it was kind of all over the place. Um, yeah, so I feel like if it would have committed to one subgenre of being like a straight action movie all the way through, like you said, or being like a slow burn survival horror of her trying to hide and find a way out, I think that could have been really cool. But it doesn't commit to any of those. And so by the end of it, even though I like the premise and I like parts of this movie, by the end of it, it still had like a Netflix movie feel to it. I don't know. It's kind of hard. You know what I'm talking about, right? It
Yeah,
had like
yeah.
a
Netflix has like a certain
straight.
like
It has like a
quality.
straight to streaming kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Netflix is very good with their TV shows, but their movies are very, very hit or miss. Mostly
yeah.
miss.
And this could have been in theaters. Like it, maybe there would have been more action in it if it was in theaters and it's had a bigger budget. But um, yeah, by the end of it, it just felt like a generic Netflix movie on the one of their better ones. But yeah, I thought Millie was great, but it's not a movie that I'll like remember and go back to be honest. Which is the same thing, the same way I feel about. Even though I really like Extraction 2, since I watched it, I haven't really gone back to it. Um, and then Red Notice, no. What was the other one? Heart of Stone. I didn't even watch that one
Yeah,
because I heard it was
it's
so bad.
I've heard it was awful. That's
Yeah,
why I mentioned it.
yeah. So this movie was okay. Like it wasn't bad. It and I also felt too. Um, this movie, even more than Extraction 2, this movie had potential to be like really good. Like there is, like you said, the dragon fight. It was kind of like a few things and then that's it. If it
Yeah.
would have had like a freaking awesome dragon fight at the end, it could have really elevated the movie. But it never got there.
Yeah, this movie, by the way, was directed by Juan Carlos Fresnadillo. He
Mm-hmm.
also did 28 Weeks Later,
Okay.
which is the sequel to 28 Days Later, which had Killian
Mm-hmm.
Murphy. Oscar winner, by the way. Killian Murphy. The Oscars were today, so that's why I mentioned that. But yeah, and he's also done other films too, but most notably 28 Weeks Later. But um, yeah, dude, try again. I mean, this movie was fun in some aspects, but
And
then again,
I
you know,
hope, because I agree that Millie Bobby Brown is, she's towards the top as far as her age with her acting.
yeah,
I think she's up there. She's with like, to me, she's up there with like Jenna Ortega and, these other young actresses that are up and coming
hmm
and really starting to break out.
what's
I
her face
hope.
from Barbie? America Ferrera's daughter.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
remember her name. She's gonna be in Borderlands too.
Ariana Greenblatt.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
really
she's
good.
gonna be in Borderlands. Yeah, like I don't know if you feel that way, but after Stranger Things, I hope she kind of gets out of her Netflix deals because she has potential to like really break out on the big screen.
Yeah,
She hasn't really done a lot on the big screen besides Godzilla movies. Like she has Enola Holmes on Netflix. She has this movie on Netflix. She has Stranger Things on Netflix.
she
And
has the
outside of Stranger
second one
Things,
too. Second Enola
yep,
Holmes.
yep, yep. And outside of Stranger Things, I feel like Netflix is kind of holding her back from being a really big star on the big screen while also being a star on a Stranger Things. So I hope once Stranger Things is over that she starts getting big roles on the big screen because she's got the talent to like really be. She's honestly like she's been in bigger stuff, but she's got the talent to be like Zendaya level of being in these big blockbusters. To me,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
and some might say she's better actress than Zendaya, but I think they're both great in certain
Mm-hmm.
aspects. So I'm not going to even get there. I do not want the Zendaya followers
And
to
Zendaya's
attack
great.
me. No, she's
Zendaya
great.
was freaking awesome in Dune. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, she's great in that. Um, but yeah, those are our thoughts on the movie. So we can give our ratings. Um, my rating is a 7 out of 10. Again, decent film, but not over the top good. There's some good stuff, some good aspects. I think it's shot well. I do think that the cast acts well, even though their characters are forgettable, like you said. Millie's great. The dragon is great as well. I liked the dragon's look and the voice. It was real
Mm-hmm.
badass. Um, and I just wish there was more action.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's my rating.
I'm gonna go 6 out of 10. I think it's above average, but it's not great. This had potential to be like really good though. This had potential to be the best Netflix movie, even better than Extraction 2, but it just never got there. So I don't know how well it's gonna do as far as the Netflix numbers, but
Mm.
I'm hoping if we somehow get like a sequel or something like that, they can just like Extraction 2. Extraction 2 improved on everything from the first one, at least to me. So I'm hoping that the same thing happens if they make a sequel to
Mm.
this.
Um, well, the audience likes it. It's at 73% right now, audience score.
Okay, cool.
But it's at a 59% on the
Yeah.
tomato score. So
What
you're
was
you're you're the
yeah,
critic. I'm the audience. So
right. But
um,
even then, like I would still I'm not a critic on Rotten Tomatoes, but if
right.
I were a critic on Rotten Tomatoes, I would still give it a fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, well, also, I forgot to put this as one of my positives, but can we give a shout out to the costume designer? Like
Mm-hmm.
the costumes were like really nice, and they looked like the time they were like Millie's dresses that she would be wearing. Real good. I liked them a lot. But no, it's not going to go up a point because of the costumes. So don't even ask me. But I mean, it's fine for what it is. But if you just want something that you want to watch at home and you just kind of want to shut your brain off and just kind of enjoy, you can watch this. But
Yeah,
it's
for
again, it's not going to knock your socks off.
yeah, like for you, it's definitely worth checking out since you don't have to drive to the theater. You can
Yeah,
watch it from home. You don't have to pay, $10+ on a ticket and then spend $30 on popcorn and a drink. Like you can watch it at your home. It's definitely worth it checking out.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's our review on Damsel. If this review has convinced you to go watch it, good. But and if you liked it, please like and subscribe. That'd be help very much. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video here on Slashers and Superheroes. I am Cameron. This is Jacob, and we'll see y'all on the next video. Bye bye.